So, for my favorite sensation and perception topic was the perceiving color. And that section was easily my favorite because not only did we get to interact with the activities, but it made me question a lot. I mean, and it tied into, everything's applicable to the real world and to psychology, but like, this is something you constantly have to think about if it's brought to your attention. And one thing I constantly related it back to was the dress. And if you don't know what that is, it was a dress someone put on Twitter back in like 2015, and everyone was having a debate about like, did you see white and gold or did you see black and blue? And I saw black and blue, and that's the only right way to see it, if I'm gonna be honest. But everyone was having these debates because of how we perceive color, but it's kind of just a myth. Color is not a myth, but not really there. It's not on an actual object. So, was this pointless arguments, is what I started thinking. And me and my friend discussed that in class. We were like, well, what's the point of debating these things now? We don't know. And that got me thinking more about colorblind issues, because in genetics, you learn about when you inherit, the males get an XY and the women get two X's. And that's why males are more prone to have colorblind issues, because they have one X, and that's what they inherit from the mother. While the females have two, and like, if you have one colorblind gene but the other one isn't, then you shouldn't be. Or at least that's what I've learned. And when we were in class, we looked at these numbers, and I even have to take a step back and look at them, and I'm not colorblind. And that got me thinking, how does everyone else see the world? Everyone has a different perspective, and monochromatism or monochromaticism is the black, white, and gray one, which is in the second picture of the two paint cans, and it looks like just like a black and white show. And that made me, when we say color isn't real, I was like, well, is this how the world truly is? And I learned that isn't as common, though, as the dichromatism. And that means you're just missing one. And we have three cone pigments, which is the red, green, and blue. And with the dichromatism, when you're missing one, you could have like a green-red deficiency. And that's, what is it? It's like, that's the more common one, but it's even possible to be trichromatic in one eye and dichromatic in the other, which made me think, well, does the brain somehow settle in some kind of middle ground, or does it simply cannot differ? And that made me really curious, but I heard that's pretty rare. And I'm super interested on how the world truly is because of these. Like, are the monochromatic peoples truly seeing the world as it is? Because objects only reflect the light that's hitting them, and that's how our cones perceive them, or how the cones are stimulated and how we perceive it. And that's my biggest question, is everything we know not truly, is everything we know not really as it seems? Because what is, I don't know, hard to say, but like, it's such a hard thought to process, is like what I'm trying to get across, because I'm even having a hard time processing it. And it's so interesting, and I would love to study it more, because there's so much more we get to learn about this that we haven't even discovered yet. Just like how recently they discovered a new color, and it was a black that, I'll have to find the name, but it completely absorbs all of the light. Like, no light is reflected back from it, and that is the darkest color we could ever create. So that makes me wonder, what other colors are out there, and what have we truly just not seen that others could see, and vice versa.